and I can't see all of the demons right here with me. 'Cause I'm a sinner to my core. I ask forgiveness and nothing. Are open and I can see all of the damage brought on by me. 'Cause I'm a sinner to my core. I ask forgiveness, nothing more. I'm a sinner to my core. Forgiveness, nothing. We drive trucks, we kill whitetails and greenhead ducks, and drive our four-wheelers down the main road. Bust out the sleds when it's cold. We got back roads and four-wheel drives. We got tailgates on a Friday night. It's a half hour from my front door to a Walmart or a grocery store. But y'all don't understand. It ain't all about a southern man. 'Cause we got outlaws, we got hicks, we got honky-tonks out of these sticks. Love our whiskey and we love our homegrown. God damn, it's so good to be home. We wear Carhartt, we don't wear suits. We wear square toes and Chippewa boots. And we all know where we come from. And we'll be right here when it's done. But y'all don't understand. It ain't all about a southern man. We got family living out in these woods. We got pride and a sense of what's good. And we all got dirt on our hands. It's a song for the working man. Get up early and we work third shift. Pay our taxes and protect our kids. And we all got dirt on our hands. 'Cause it's rednecks north of the Mason-Dixon. Rednecks north of the Mason-Dixon. Fresh off the block. You got your Chevy parked next to my Ford. The colors flying high at your door. I got a shotgun, fill it with shells. You got a Bible, but I'll see you in hell. Ain't make that difference on you and me. Trying to make it in the land of the free. But y'all don't understand. It ain't all about a southern man. We got family living out in these woods. We got pride in the sense of what's good. And we all got dirt on our hands. It's a song for the working man. Get up early and we work third shift. Pay our taxes and protect our kids. And we all got dirt on our hands. There's rednecks north of the Mason-Dixon. I'm a redneck north of the Mason-Dixon. I've been shattered and broken for most of my life, but I've done pretty good with a job and a wife. Got a family that loves me, a good piece of land that I bought with hard work, that I earned with these hands. These things that I do, I did them for you. So just tell me you love me, and tell me you'll stand, you won't show this out. Well, I go away and just promise before my demons, they took control. Lost and lonely, out here on the road. 'Cause I've been careless and selfish, got no self-respect. I'm an albatross hanging around my own neck. I'm a hard one to handle, and I play the fool, and I'm so hard to love, 'cause I break all the rules. But these things that I do, I couldn't have you. So just tell me you love me, and tell me you'll stand, you won't over this out. Well, I go away and just promise to be here when I get back home, so we can start where we left off. All those years ago, before my demons, they took control. Lost and lonely, out here on the road. So just tell me you love me, and tell me you'll stay and you watch over this house. Well, I go away and just promise to be here when I get back home, so we can start where we left off. All those years ago, before my demons, they took control. lost and lonely out here on the road. That's not me. I rarely drink from the bottle, but I'll smoke a little weed. I still live in the sticks where you wouldn't go. In town of 1200 off an old dirt road. Country boy is all I'll ever be. Now it's been 12 years since I sold my soul to the devil in LA. He said, sign your name here on the dotted line, and your songs they all pay. He set up shop on Sunset, he put me up at the Marquee. He said, you wanna sell a million records, boy? You better listen to me. He said, change your style, lighten your smile. You could lose a couple of pounds. If you wanna live this life, you better lose that wife. Do you need your friend around? I said, no, that's not me. 'Cause the biggest things in life are your friends and family. And I like my jeans and my old t-shirts. And a couple extra pounds never really hurt. 'Cause a country boy is all I'll ever be. 'Cause Hank taught me just how to stay alive. You never catch me out the house without my 9 or 45. I got a big orange tractor and a diesel truck. My idea of heaven's chasing whitetail bucks. And as a country boy, you know I can survive. Two flags fly above my land and really sum up how I feel. One is the colors that fly high and proud, the red, the white, the blue. The other one's got a rattlesnake with a simple statement made. Don't tread on me, is what it says. Then I'll take that to my grave. Because This is America. Country boys get with them.
This one's called Ready If It Goes There. It's going to be off the album number 2. We Are Madison Rhyme. Well, they say that the country's done. They say that the stock market's gonna crash. They say that every single one of us is gonna lay down while they walk across our back. But I'm gonna stand up, gonna put my fists in the air. No, I don't wanna have to bring my guns, but I'm ready if it goes there. But you can lay down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can lay dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna. So let's stand up, put our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns. We'll be ready if it goes there. 'Cause we're the epitome of what's left of the USA. We're hard-working, honest, and we make our money the good old-fashioned way. But you can lay down if you wanna, and you can run away if you wanna. And you can't pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. And you can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna. We'll say that the country's fine with a little hard work and we could get her back on our feet, 'cause I believe she belongs there. So let's stand her up and brush off the dirt and dust, 'cause Lady Liberty needs our help from every single one of us. Well, you can lay down if you wanna, or you can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that tyranny is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now, but I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. No, I don't wanna. So let's stand up, put our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns, but we'll be ready if it goes there. We're gonna stand up, throw our fists in the air. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns. No, we don't wanna have to bring our guns. We'll be ready if it goes there. Ready if it goes there. Ready if it goes there. Ready if it goes.
Americans, the how and the why of our beloved republic are so much better known and understood than the who. The United States of America was born in 1776, but it was conceived 169 years before that. The earliest settlers had watered the New World with much sweat. They had built substantial holdings for themselves, for their families. And when the time came to separate themselves from a tyranny an ocean away, at best it meant starting all over again after the ravages of war. Researching what you're about to hear gave a whole new dimension to my reverence for our nation's first citizens. All others of the world's revolutions, before and since, were initiated by men who had nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Our founders had everything to lose and nothing to gain, except one thing. Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey. You remember the cherry tree fiction a long time after you have forgotten the more earth-shaking history-making episodes in the life of George Washington. You have misplaced in your memory the details of Ben Franklin's statesmanship, but you remember his flying a kite. Joyce Kilmer was a great military hero, but the only thing you personally recall about him is his poetic tribute to trees. Maybe of this current decade, that which will be remembered best will not be its wars and its moon rockets or its crumbling frontiers or the giants who lived and died. Maybe all that'll survive to linger in the day-by-day vocabulary of generations yet unborn may be the songs of a Memphis minstrel or the reincarnation of electric automobiles. But for any eve of the 4th of July, I, Paul Harvey, do herewith bequeath unto you something to remember. You may not be able to quote one line from the Declaration of Independence at this moment. Henceforth, you'll always be able to quote at least one line. It's in the last paragraph where you will recall when I remind you. It says, "We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." In the Pennsylvania State House that's now called Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the best men from each of the colonies sat down together. This was a very fortunate hour in our nation's history, one of those rare occasions in the lives of men when we had greatness to spare. These were men of means, well-educated. 24 were lawyers and jurists. 9 were farmers, owners of large plantations. On June 11, a committee sat down to draw up a Declaration of Independence. We were going to tell the British fatherland no more rule by redcoats. Below the dam of ruthless foreign rule, the stream of freedom was running shallow and muddy, and we were going to light the fuse to dynamite that dam. This pact, as Burke later put it, was a partnership between the living and the dead and the yet unborn. There was no bigotry, there was no demagoguery in this group. All had shared hardships. Jefferson finished a draft of the document in 17 days. Congress adopted it in July, and so much is familiar history. But now, King George III had denounced all rebels in America as traitors. Punishment for treason was hanging. The names now so familiar to you from the several signatures on that Declaration of Independence, the names were kept secret for 6 months, for each knew the full meaning of that magnificent last paragraph in which his signature pledged his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor. 56 men placed their names beneath that pledge. 56 men knew when they signed that they were risking everything. They knew if they won this fight, the best they could expect would be years of hardship in a struggling nation. And if they lost, they'd face a hangman's rope. But they signed the pledge. And here is the documented fate of that gallant 56. Carter Braxton of Virginia, wealthy planter, trader, saw his ships swept from the seas. To pay his debts, he lost his home and all of his properties and died in rags. Thomas Lynch Jr., who signed that pledge, was a third-generation rice grower, aristocrat, large plantation owner. After he signed, his health failed. His wife and he set out for France to regain his failing health. Their ship never got to France, was never heard from again. Thomas McKean of Delaware was so harassed by the enemy that he was forced to move his family 5 times in 5 months. He served in Congress without pay, his family in poverty and in hiding. Vandals looted the properties of Ellery and Clymer, Hall and Gwinnett and Walton and Hayward and Rutledge and Middleton. Thomas Nelson Jr. of Virginia raised $2 million on his own signature to provision our allies, the French fleet. After the war, he personally paid back the loans, wiped out his entire estate, and he was never reimbursed by his government. In the final battle for Yorktown, he, Nelson, urged General Washington to fire on his, Nelson's, own home, which was occupied by Cornwallis. It was destroyed. Thomas Nelson Jr. had pledged his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor. The Hessians seized the home of Francis Hopkinson of New Jersey. Francis Lewis had his home and everything destroyed, his wife imprisoned. She died within a few months. Richard Stockton, who signed that declaration, was captured, mistreated, his health broken to the extent that he died at 51. His estate was pillaged. Thomas Hayward Jr. was captured when Charleston fell. John Hart was driven from his wife's bedside while she was dying. Their 13 children fled in all directions for their lives. His fields and grist mill were laid waste. For more than a year, he lived in forests and caves and returned home after the war to find his wife dead, his children gone, his properties gone, and he died a few weeks later of exhaustion and a broken heart. Lewis Morris saw his land destroyed, his family scattered. Philip Livingston died within a few months from the hardships of the war. John Hancock, history remembers best due to a quirk of fate rather than anything he stood for. That great sweeping signature attesting to his vanity towers over the others. One of the wealthiest men in New England. And yet he stood outside Boston one terrible night of the war, and he said, "Burn Boston, though it makes John Hancock a beggar, if the public good requires it." So he too lived up to the pledge. Of the 56, few were long to survive. 5 were captured by the British and tortured before they died. 12 had their homes from Rhode Island to Charleston sacked, looted, occupied by the enemy, or burned. 2 lost their sons in the army. 1 had 2 sons captured. 9 of the 56 died in the war from its hardships or from its more merciful bullets. I don't know what impression you had of the men who met that summer in Philadelphia. But I think it's important that we remember this about them. They were not poor men. They were not wild-eyed pirates. These were men of means. They were rich men, most of them, and had enjoyed much ease and luxury in their personal living. Not hungry men, certainly not terrorists, not irresponsible malcontents, not fanatical incendiaries. These men were prosperous men, wealthy landowners. They were substantially secure in their prosperity. They had everything to lose. But they considered liberty, and this is as much as I shall say of it. They had learned that liberty is so much more important than security, that they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And they fulfilled their pledge. They paid the price, and freedom was born.
ain't forgotten that those cowards took the towers down. You can bet I ain't gonna hesitate to put them in the ground. Clutching on my rifle, ammo by my side. Clutching on my Bible, I do it for my pride. I'm trained to be fearless, I fear the unknown. Give my love to my family and I'll see them when I'm home.
Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to fight. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to cry. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to die. I do it for my family and do it for my pride. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to fight. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to cry. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to die. I do it for my family and do it for my pride.
Proud of my country, it's the land of the free. Your enemies, my enemies, together we bleed. Your sister, your brother, your cousin, whatever. Your family's my family in the trenches together. Pistol by my side with my rosary beads. Bible by my ammo, man, I hope he's watching me. Overseas, overnight, if I die, I know it's right. Freedom ain't free, pass the ammo, let's ride.
Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to fight. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to cry. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to die. I do it for my family and do it for my pride. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to fight. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to cry. Pass me the ammo, ain't afraid to die. I do it for my family and do it for my pride.
This one's called Hyphens. We hope you dig it. This is our last tune. Once again, we're Madison Rising. Go to MadisonRising.com. Occupied Tank Guy. What's up? Amen. We want to thank you guys for coming. If you guys get a picture of us, pop it up on the Madison Rising website or pop it up on MadisonRising.com or on the Madison Rising Facebook, and we appreciate it. Like us on Facebook. We hope you dig it. This last one is called Hyphens. It's about everybody's day to day. How we walk past each other in the streets. We don't say how. We just walk on by. This one talks about unity. It talks about it's going to take more than just coming out here. It's going to take a people to come together as a nation. There has to be no race. There has to be no creed. There has to be a nation of people that stand up for what is needed. Here we go. My family and my life goes off and I rolling out, yeah. My dinner, my TV on the lake, clear my head. I catch the news in time of view. Another story of the plots, lots of inequality and what people need. Forget what they got. But in these times of opposition, prejudice runs deep to bottom of my heritage is all they ever preach. Tell us that they really care. To them it's just a game. 'Cause we were all Americans before the hyphens came. Who cared about who you were? Less about you guys. His virtue was felt by all who we came to know. Rare is one like him, a kind and gentle soul. Taught me how to stand tall when face to face with fear. Before his last fight, he gathered up his men. He said, bury me in hallowed ground. Let me lay me into the ones who walked with me. So bury me in hallowed ground. Let me rest in peace in hallowed ground. Never left a man behind, always held their spirits high. Sing take countless times, swearing all his ways until his final days. Before his last rites, gathered up his men. He said, bury me in hallowed ground. Let me lay into the ones who fall for me.
okay with school, can I take another bet? Big break, boy cat in the fish tank, mixed drink in my left hand with chain. Nothing but a whole lot of Jack D. A little bit of Coca-Cola, baby, that's me. That's me, the one that got the party started. When they do a thing and rebel scatter like somebody parties.
We like our Chevys high, speakers bumping low. We bring that southern pride everywhere we go. We're just good old boys that stay right down the road. If you mess with one, you're gon' get us all. And that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll.
Jones County, rolling this way, then you gonna hear about me. Georgia redneck, go dogs and all that. Deep fried, big trucks, they all jack. On that, past the red flag, straw that. Fall that, rock the click, clack, and all that. Talk that, cause I walk that. I got plenty of bullets, buddy, so you don't wanna talk that.
Run your mouth like a big block, get cold cocked with a big knot on your soft spot.
But you ought not walk where the big boys box trot tango, boomerang, bang, dang, hip hop.
Get lost down the road, cause now you know that's how we broke. We bound to blow right out the door.
Speaking of down the road, I gotta mow and till cause the grass is grown.
We like our Chevys high, speakers bumping low. We bring that southern pride everywhere we go. We're just good old boys that stay right down the road. If you mess with one, you're gon' get us all. And that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll.
Loaded on up, got the system bumping at the party like what? Parked up in the driveway, all Chevy truck jacked up, so I will never get stuck. Shine up in my cup, you ain't no country for love to turn up. Real southern folk, call close friends, blood don't start, none won't be none shown up.
Shit, they gave me the wheel and told me throw it in gear. And now we finally here. When this shit hits the fan, man, they all disappear. Everybody getting mad cause this is our year. Oh, hit this one thing that I know. You mess with one, you gon' get the whole damn load. When you see that many trucks coming down the road, you know that's just how we roll. Come on.
We like our Chevys high, speakers bumping low. We bring that southern pride everywhere we go. We're just good old boys that stay right down the road. If you mess with one, you're gon' get us all. And that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll.
Redneck spit like red man chew. Bottle with the sip, but the flame still blue. Bow tie lifted with the kick and hit too. This is how we roll and how the West hits loose.
Two more shots and a camel crush, then we head on down the road. Cause raising hell, well, it's in our blood. And that's just how we roll.
We all think this country ass. We all kiss my country ass. Spit out 49 with a black grid too high to drive, so I called them free.
Little low on gas, but I still run by. Go and hit that hole where the creek runs dry. If I call them folks and the place gets dry, shit, it ain't no lie. That's just how we ride.
We like our Chevys high, speakers bumping low. We bring that southern pride everywhere we go. We're just good old boys that stay right down the road. If you mess with one, you're gon' get us all. And that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. That's just how we roll.
do we sit down when all should be standing? And why do we back down at the critical moment, like running away from the waves of the ocean? We head for the hills with the high tide approaching, as sand slips away from the castle. When it's time to stand upright, why do we falter, like placing our freedom on the sacrificial altar? We hold tight to our fears and defend our oppressors as we fight for their lives and become the transgressors, as pacifists transform to violent aggressors. But I'm only a stranger here. I'm a long, long way from my home, and they say I can't change all the things I find strange. But what can one man do alone? They say, what can one man do alone? When is the right time to stand up for freedom? Could it be when you start to feel creating children who'll inherit the pain and the debt of this nation and be slaves to the banks that cause hyperinflation, who are masters of commerce, lies, and bad legislation? Whoa, if you looked in the eyes of 1,000 young children through fences of razors, their innocence stolen, as the red flag of tyranny flies in the open, is that when you finally notice? Whoa, whoa, but I'm only a stranger here. I'm a long, long way from my home, and they say I can't change all the things I find strange. For what can one man do alone? Is what can one man do alone? I'm only a stranger looking to find better nature in my fellow man, but they keep telling me it's a sin to be free, and that's more than I'm willing to stand. Where will you be when the order is given to censor your mind, as free speech is forbidden, as martyrs for peace from the world will be driven away by the sound of a bellowing thunder and choke on the blood of a dream going under, as arrogant men tear up our Constitution, and from every direction we cry revolution, standing together and without permission, soldiers for truth in the war of attrition, the love of our country as our ammunition. Oh, but I'm only a stranger here. I'm a long, long way from my home, and I'm going to change all the things I find strange, for I am not one man alone. Yes, I'm only a stranger. I'm a long, long way from my home, and I'm going to change all the things I find strange, for I know that I'm not alone. Yes, I know I'm not alone. Not alone.
So this is it. I say goodbye to this chapter of my ever-changing life. And there's mistakes, the path is long, and I'm sure I'll answer for them when I'm gone. So when day comes and the sun won't touch my face, until the ones who cared enough that I finally left this place. It's been so cold. Look in my face. All the stories it will tell I can't erase. The road is long. Just one more song. A little something to remind you when I'm gone. When I'm gone. The road to hell along the way is paved with good intentions, so they say. And some believe that no good deed goes unpunished in the end, so it seems. So when the day comes and the sun won't touch my face, until the ones who cared enough that I finally left this place. It's been so cold. Look in my face. All the stories it will tell I can't erase. The road is long. Just one more song. Little something to remind you when I'm gone. When I'm gone. So this is it. I say